Okay, I like that silent way of saying thank you. We'll start with the prayer. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishram Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukum Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for joining. We are covering 4.17. Very auspicious month, Purushottam month, which actually comes every 3 years. Very special month this month. Anything which is extra generally is not missing the word. Doesn't get importance. For an example, you have extra TV that goes in basement. You have extra bed that goes in basement. It doesn't get attention. So when this month, Purushottam month came, the month was because every month there is a deity related to that month. So not that just a month, regular month like that. So Purushottam month went to Krishna. The name was not Purushottam, this was an extra month. So crying, nobody gives importance to me. Lord Krishna was very pleased. He said, first and foremost, your name for this month will be Purushottam. Krishna gave his own name to this month. And he said, one who practices devotional service during this month get the results million times more. So anything which is during this month, you see, you go to any holy places, it will be covered with people because this is very auspicious. Perform any devotional service, even including Holy Dham. So we are fortunate that we are studying Bhagavad Gita during this month. Next week I won't be here, unfortunately. I'm traveling to Sadhu Sangha, which is one of the yearly festival we have. I guess you both are coming as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So next week we won't have, but 3 weeks we have in this month we'll cover. So we are starting with 4.17. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Beautiful. You can all see. Okay. Karmano hi api bodhavyam. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. Akarmanascha bodhavayam. Gahana karmano gatihi. There's a very important section A lot of times we say, how did I get here? Whatever position we may be in. So a lot of time people have complained, how did I get here? This section is covering that aspect. How did we land up here? Now the question comes in is, oh, I am here now. Is there anything in my hand? Oh, destiny, if God has decided everything, which means I have nothing in my hand, right? The section which is specifically talking about karma, vikarma, and akarma is specifically designed to design our destiny. Because the moment, for an example, if you want to take an admission in IIT or say Oxford University, you have prerequisite steps. You know what is the qualification I need to get there. And you also get reference from people who have entered there, right? So what is this section specifically covering these three aspects, which is karma, vikarma, and akarma, is giving us a future highlight in terms of what I should do to get what kind of body. Now, again, everyone may have different aspiration. If I still like to go to heavenly planet, then what I should be doing? If I don't want to take the birth and death all over again, and I just want to go back to spiritual world, what should I do? Right? So what you see here, the parent has the three pictures you see here. The parent has sent the boy to study. So that guy is somehow managing. Okay, let me follow. I'll study. The second guy gets distracted. Hare Krishna, thank you for coming. We will have darshan opening at 4:30. 4:30, yeah, but just few more minutes. They are just waking up the Lord. Thank you. So second guy, which you see in the middle, this guy, oh, this is not working on, and he's getting distracted. The third one is utilizing the. Of course, they are not of same age, but third one is understanding what is the purpose of life and trying to utilize however way actually can taken care. So can you read the translation, please? Please.
The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is.
My daughter developed the red spots on her skin, just trying to figure out what has to be done. So today I took her to the doctor. Now, even materially, she said we can try to, I'll use my word, speculate what could be the reason, which, like she was telling, it is not a side effect, it is an insect bite. Now, which insect, when, how, where, very difficult to find out. So, whatever position we are in, there is not a one-to-one formula. You can say this is a probability based on the symptoms that there is an insect bite, but where, what kind of insect bite, very difficult to describe that way. So that's what Krishna is saying. The intricacies of karma are very hard to understand. What if I do A? Yeah, something like B will happen, but I cannot say. For an example, if someone likes to eat meat, then they'll take the birth of animal body which likes to eat meat. Now, which animal, where, and all those details are very difficult to find out. And what is Krishna saying? Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what karma I should perform, and what forbidden action are, which is the papa, which is vikarma, what I should not be doing, and what inaction is. Now, this is very interesting. The word here is coined from English, that is inaction. Inaction is not a very positive term from that person. That's my understanding. Being lazy, something like inaction, but that's not what is being mentioned here. When we say the concept of inaction is which is not being attached to the results and doing something which is in connection with the scriptures, right? So what you see in this slide, verse 17, Lord Krishna explains difference between karma, vikarma, and akarma. So why do we need to understand that? Very important. If one is serious about the liberation, one need to understand distinction. Are, how do I know? What am I doing right or wrong? Until then, I don't know the results of that one. So this is very important. And what is the second one? It's difficult. Speculation won't help. Learn from learn from the scriptures. So Lord Krishna is explaining what is karma, working with the attachment according to Shastras. Again, it is based on the scripture, but what happens there? Um, Attachment is there. That's why we have to come back here. A beautiful example from scriptures, and there are many, needless to say. say from that perspective, is Bharat Maharaj. He was the king, and then he left his kingdom. He did his job really well. He left his kingdom, went to the forest to do tapasya because my age is there now. I want to focus on this. And he saw a deer, a baby deer, and he got attracted to a baby deer. Trust me, any animal you take, when the cub or when the small babies are there, they are very, very attractive. You agree? Whether it's a baby deer, whether it's a baby cat, it's just they are even puppy, right? They are very attractive. So that wasn't his fault. But the challenge is that he got distracted. He stopped his practices and focusing on deer. Did he go here? Is he safe and all that stuff? And what is the result? He ended up becoming a deer. That's the power of attachment we have. So many examples from my own personal life perspective. There are a lot of astrologers who can find out your past and then tell you where you were like that. Pretty powerful, actually. So I got to know I was practicing devotee actually in my previous life. Forgot the purpose of life due to some attachment. I'm back here again. So it's not just there are only scriptures who give the example in our personal life. Also, there are so many examples, so many examples. So that's very important aspect here. So what you see on the top, on the right hand side picture, yeah, it's on your right as well. Yeah. So what is akarma? Performing the same activity. This guy is driving the car, or the lady is trying to cook prasad or bhoga for the Lord, or engaging in various kind of activities, whether understanding getting the knowledge. It is used in connection with Krishna, that becomes akarma. And this is what the examples which are being showed how to learn this is, sorry, it's a small picture, did not know how to portray that. But you see, there are sages, there are kshatriyas, there are different kind of people who are trying to actually learn that based on the scripture and performing those activities. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan writes in translation, this is Prabhupada actually taking all these snippets from various scriptures and adding it. One should understand about karma, which is kamya karma and jnana. There is difficult to understand. If bodily activities are action and the absence of bodily activities in action, then how is that even those are deluded in this matter? So that's what I was mentioning in the beginning. What is inaction does not mean you do not perform any activity which is being mentioned here. Ultimately, what is the intention behind any activity which I'm doing? And I'll talk about that one. So what you see, there are people living in city doing activities like you see here. Sorry, that's the next slide which is coming up. So to answer this question, Lord Krishna reveals that there are some special consideration to understand about the true nature of activities, prescribes as well as the real nature of non-performance of action, and we will see that in detail. Like in this example, you see various personalities which have been brought up here. So Baladev Bhushan is giving an example about karma, vikarma, and akarma. Right? On the top, you see Janak Maharaj. Who's Janak Maharaj? Sita's father. You see Pandavas on the right hand side. There are Brahmanas who are performing on the left hand side. So what you see, these are the personalities who are actually performing the activities not as the karma. They are performing these activity for the pleasure of the Lord. Because they are every activity they are performing, they are doing it in connection with devotional service. What you see on the second picture, on the left hand side, these Brahmana are doing the yajna. And again, for us, yajna is going to work and performing various activities, taking care of family, because you may see, where is this relevance here today? Nobody performs yajna. So that's just clarifying that part. They are doing as per scriptures, but they have desires behind. So what is that? It is karma. You are with me so far? The first one is akarma, because it is performed for the pleasure of Krishna. The second one on the left hand side is the karma, because it is as per the scripture but not in connection with Krishna. There is desires with that. You see Mrigrari, who is the hunter, who's trying to actually kill the animals. He's trying to do vikarma, right? And spiritual master guides him. And further down, there is a yogi who is performing an action, apparently inaction, because he is disconnected from any material world. And we will talk about what are the challenges with that one. And then you have Bhakti, have the sage who are actually, again, example of that. So Baladev Vidyabhushan writes for the karma, the real nature of nishkama karma, which is to be performed by those desiring liberation. Nishkama means there is no expectation, but there is still expectation that I will get the liberation. And I'll elaborate more on that. What is vikarma? Performance of forbidden action leads to misery. You should understand the real nature of kamya karma, which is contrary to jnana. The third one, which is akarma, Baladev Vidyabhushan says, you should also know the real nature of jnana, different from karma, which is akarma. This is very important. Like I said, when we perform the yajna in our context, what is that yajna? That we basically run our livelihood, right? And then take care of the family. So you go and acquire knowledge for that one as well. Is that right? We all went to colleges, we all went to the school, we acquired the knowledge. But what is that knowledge being used for? To do karma. Is that right? Now here, what is the jnana being referred here is that the jnana being referred here is specific in connection with how do I get out of cycle of birth and death. So it's a jnana only, but there is a difference. One is on the bodily level and second is on the soul level. Like in any of your school, at least there was only prayer in it. Which period they call it as period, or what is that? What is the new concept? I don't know what they call it as. Is that period? That's what they call it as. Any period we have where we talk about the science of soul. No, right? No. So it is only related to the body. So this is being described. Avoidance of action by the sannyasi, which you see, can that lead to auspiciousness that I'm not doing any action, which is now being described here. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, you see George Harrison on the left hand side. You see the first picture here. This is Beatles. They're pretty popular actually. They sang multiple songs, very popular in Europe area specifically. But he actually became a devotee, and his house he donated as a temple. So when you go to London, Bury Place, which is a temple now, that used to be George Harrison's house. Very powerful personality. And he wanted to actually join Srila Prabhupada full time. He said, I want to leave everything and I just want to become. Srila Prabhupada said, no, whatever position you are in, you be there and preach. Because at your position, you can create revolution. When people see great people following spirituality, people feel, wow, this is great. I want to understand what is the purpose of life. Understand Krishna consciousness, and according to its mode, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. In our office, in our home, everything we have is in relation. For an example, the boss, the colleague, right? And you understand he is the director of this and he is a VP of that, and based on that, you actually have that connection from that. Same way, when you perform any activity in this world, whether it is vikarma or whether it is karma or akarma, very important, what connection is that with the person whom I'm doing this activity for. So for an example, if I'm doing that activity for the boss, or I'm doing for Krishna, or whether I'm doing it for my family, that changes everything from that perspective. So consequently, one has to act in Krishna consciousness. So now question for you. If I'm cooking for my, right, or I go to work and I earn my salary, is that Krishna consciousness or no? Let's get into reality of this world. Is it Krishna conscious or no? You got my question?
Yeah.
Mataji also got my question. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I read again because I've read only, it's not experience.
That's okay.
So it may not be Krishna conscious, but if you think you are serving Lord only by doing so, because He has given you a role to do a job, then it becomes Krishna conscious.
Okay, very nice. Any other comments? Whatever you know, don't worry. I'm not judging you.
Part of life karma, right? You have to earn money for the family, whatever it is. You go to it. So I think it's part of I don't know. It is part of Krishna consciousness.
Very nice. Okay. What do you want to add?
I think it is not, because the person who's not following Krishna consciousness is also doing the same thing.
Very nice. That's an interesting perspective. Now, any of Mataji want to add something?
So if we start thinking that way, we can apply Krishna consciousness in some way.
So bringing our consciousness in that. Okay. So Praja Mataji, want to add something?
I think that
But you understood the question, yeah?
I'm trying to understand.
No problem. The question here is that I'm performing the activity. Whether it is Krishna conscious or not, how do I understand? For an example, going to work, earning the salary, taking care of the family in various ways, or even we were just talking. Whenever I plant, I just remember you. I was just doing some planting, is that Krishna conscious? Very interesting. Because the question here is that the activity has to be Krishna conscious from that perspective, right? Mataji, Prabhuji, all of you brought up a beautiful point. Same activity is done by a karmi also. They just set up a stall here, so many people come and buy the plants here. Like you brought up that point. So the activity does not decide whether it is Krishna conscious or not. Activity in itself, let me be more clear. Activity in itself does not describe whether it is Krishna conscious or not. What decides whether it is Krishna conscious or not? It is the mood behind what activity I'm doing. Thank you, Madhuri. The purpose, right? Like for an example, Monday I have to go to work. And this is my experience. I don't know if it's different from you. Nobody likes Monday. I don't know if someone likes that. So please forgive me in case. Huh?
That's a universal truth. I'm not shading.
Yeah, I'm little shy to say that universal because I remember one person said, I love going to the school. Okay, so he likes Monday. So that's why I just shied away to say that. Nobody likes Monday. Why? Again, same job. Again, I have to do that. Which means the reality here is that I don't do it, but I have to do it. You agree? Right? Right? So the motive is different from that perspective. Now, if I do the same work, yes, I have to do it. But now you think about this body is like a temple. Right? The soul is the temple. Unless I take care of my body, the soul, whatever activities I'm able to do, I'm able to do it with the body. You agree? Though the soul is the person who is doing, because without soul we cannot do anything. But you agree with the body only we can do everything. Exact, right? So which means taking care of the body is important. So again, though I have to do those activity, but I'm remembering purpose of my life is to not work 9 to 5 for rest of my life. The purpose of life or purpose of my job, whatever activities I'm doing, hey, I want to actually understand how do I get out of cycle of birth and death? And how do I actually go back to that eternal world where I don't have to really struggle so hard for my survival? So much going on in the world, for what sake? To actually earning 9 to 5 is such a difficult job which is happening today. People are struggling to actually maintain their family with so many aspects. But again, coming back to this aspect, why am I bringing that? Is everything has a purpose. What is the purpose behind that? If I'm doing it just for the sake of doing it, then unfortunately that is karma or vikarma based on how I utilize the money out of it. If I'm just understanding I am doing it for the deliverance of my soul so that I can practice bhakti, same activities is done. Like you asked about that thing. Activity is done same way. But what is the purpose behind it? What is the consciousness behind it? Right. So that's what it says. To understand all this, one has to associate with authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is a good learning from the Lord directly. You see examples here. George Harrison, there are so many singers in Bollywood, Hollywood, and so many. Huh. Huh? 051. अच्छा ये वाला बोलोगे ये वाला डोर बोलो ये वाला ना
अंदर वो तो पता है
हाँ
किसी ने बदल दिया एक्चुअली
ये वाला बोलो
I think the lock,
It's
side
not-
lock.
if they have to close it, they have to open it exactly 3 minutes.
Hare Krishna. So you see here, there are different persons. You see an example about Hanuman. What is he doing? He has amazing power, but he is utilizing that power in serving Lord Ram. So how you utilize your talent is very important. And here, which is mentioned based on the scripture, chanting 16 rounds, and again, studying scriptures and developing Shastra Chakshu, which is understanding the in-depth idea about that and all that stuff, right? Which is very important from that perspective. Any questions or comment before we move to next verse?
Yes.
All good?
No, one question.
Please.
Like, if a child is misbehaving and the parent is not scolding or ignoring that thing, will that be called as an inaction or
Yeah.
action?
Why is parent scolding the child?
So that they improve in
Yeah,
life.
correct.
Doing that, then it's like,
And the same thing, you want to make the child better so that he doesn't become naughty or she doesn't become like she or he should follow that. And the thought behind that is, yeah, when he grow up, he can earn millions of dollars, he can be a CEO of the company and all that stuff. That becomes karma. You got my point. I want to correct my child so that he understand how to follow the laws of nature and how to be obedient to God and how to follow scriptures.
so if somebody is not correcting, that also becomes a karma.
There is a real story actually on that. Sorry for distraction here. There was uh, there was a thief who was actually jailed, and the punishment he was given is to hang him till death. So they said, "Do you have any last desire?" He said, "Yeah, I want to meet my mother." Okay, they agreed. His mother came. Very interestingly, please forgive me about that, but this is real story. He bit his mother's ear so bad that she had to go to the hospital. You know what he said to her? When I was a small boy and I did a similar activity of stealing things, you never corrected me. Because of you did not correct me. Here is my situation at the end of the day. You got my point. Ultimately, as a parent, we are responsible to train our kids to do right way. And now one thing I want to bring in, just make sure. Now let's, when we understand that, not try to put everything through the lens of karma, vikarma, akarma. Otherwise, you will not be able to perform action. That is what, this is one thing which I want to be, because this is one thing I did. So I just want to make sure you do, because wait, am I doing correctly? Is that akarma, vikarma, or karma? Oh, this person is doing like that. Is that akarma? So I know you are not doing that, but I want to be make it very clear so that you can live a peaceful life. So understand that from that perspective. But the point here is that the child, if is doing a wrong thing, the parent is correcting him. Yes, the parent should correct with the motive that the child will go on nicely. And now again, what the child teaches, like one of the example, another example I'll take. So there was a mother who was walking with her son, and then they saw a brahmachari. Like, we have brahmachari who wear orange robe. So this child never saw. He asked the mother, "Mom, who is this person?" Because he never saw that. She said, "They are ghosts. They are ghosts. Don't look at them." Now, what are you trying to put that impression on the mind of the child that any person who's saintly, the sadhu, you should disrespect them? Jai Shri Radha Gopi Janal Bhagwan ki jai, Nitai Patita Pavana Gaurari ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Now, what is she trying to do? Is she trying to do karma, or is she trying to do a karma, or she's trying to do vikarma? Absolutely vikarma. Am I making sense? Not someone, that is different issue altogether, but now you are creating an impression in that child that any saintly person you see, you understand they are ghosts, which means they are abnormal people. They don't follow the laws of nature, they don't follow the laws of scriptures, right? And that's the problem. So that is how we have to understand what is the motivation behind everything I'm doing, and that what decide. Very, very subtle. Srila Prabhupada's guru, he was in Vrindavan while giving the class. So there was a there was one person who was doing Dandavat Parikrama. Hare Krishna. I don't know if you've seen that. What is Dandavat Parikrama is? For an example, Govardhan Parikrama. The Govardhan Parikrama is around 20 meters by walk. So Dandavat Parikrama means you complete lay down and put your hand there, and this you, and again you lay down there the next step. So like that you do for 21 kilometers. Takes more than a month. And I've seen so many. So when the Westerner devotees went, they were like, wow, what a devotion. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because these acharyas can actually penetrate your heart, know what is going on in your heart. So many times, so many times. You got to be very careful, especially with person who is really practicing spirituality sincerely. In my own experience, I've seen. Don't quote the name, don't want to tell the situation. I was thinking something in the mind, the other person knew what am I doing. And I got so scared. And I was like, how can I control? Because this person can read my mind. Srila Prabhupada would do that. So Prabhupada's guru, he said, you may see that they are doing this for that purpose, but this person is not doing with the right intention. So external activity is great, you agree? For an example, I may be giving classes and you say, wow, this is wonderful point, this is a nice example. Behind my consciousness, people should praise me, because I'll tell you, caffeine is nothing in terms of the kick of praise. Someone praises you, or someone starts worshipping you, that is even more next level. Fall down. They leave everything. They're living in the forest, living in the Himalayas, and they open up factories and they open big organization. Why? That kick is so strong of being praised. Someone says, wow, sir, that's the extension he called. Or ma'am, this guy called me like that. That kick is super, what do you call? They say a shot in wine and all that stuff. Nothing compared to that kick. That's how it is. But why did I land it up here? It's all about intention. What happens? They are very difficult to understand. Why that person? I'll give you one example and then we'll move to the next one. So I came to States first time, and I went with my wife to Walmart. And there were hardly any Indians. I was living in Charlotte, so there were hardly Indians, few there. So I went to Walmart. So this person, there was couple there. They all of a sudden became so nice. We never met each other. So that person came. Oh, how are you? Where are you staying? What is it?
I'm there.
I'm like, this cannot happen. There is something here. And until I got to know that they are from Amway, and I realized that. Now, similar experience came to Sydney. Both my wife, and she was already in the process, so she knew the devotee. But for me, it's a shock, because I just understand a simple: if anyone is talking nicely to me, he has some agenda. There cannot be nice people in this world who just have no agenda. They are talking like, what do you want, man? I don't understand. So I went to the temple first time, and they actually created a plot. I want to tell you this. So there were 4 people standing at the entrance of the temple. And when I joined, this youth filled. You don't see youth in temple. So I'm like, okay, what is it? So there were these 4 people standing on the desk to welcome me. Okay, great. So first guy is a VP in IT company. I'm just a dev in IT, and even in that, I'm proud about I'm earning a great salary. Okay, the next guy. Oh, he is working for, at the time, I think Bank of Australia or some bank in. So he is the director of IT for this thing, and then moved forward. So 4 folks here. So I'm impressed, but what is my mind says? Why are they wasting their life here? That is my first line. Why are you wasting your life in temple? Go and earn money, man. That's the purpose of life. But these guys are so nice. There is one person who is still there, not in Sydney. He's in Mysore now. He opened his own temple. He is my Patha Pradeshaguru. He brought me to Krishna consciousness. What knew, I'm a foodie guy. And I was not at all interested practicing. What to talk about chanting? I would not. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I just come here. Initially, I wasn't coming, but I started coming because of the food. It's royal food, actually, really royal food. So I would come there. Anyway, so this person would call me Thursday evening, Friday afternoon. That, why don't you come for dinner? Every week, by the way. And I'll go to his place. They will serve hot dosas. They will serve you hot idlis. not a rotten one, cooked or microwaved. Sambar, and all this chutney and everything. And after that, an amazing cake every week. Nothing asking, they're not asking. Why is he doing like that? There has to be some agenda behind it. But that wasn't the case. He just wanted, because my wife was practicing nicely and I was not at all interested and I wasn't letting her go, but then let her go, that you go to the temple. But the reality of this material world, why am I bringing this point, is everyone has hidden agenda. But that's not how bhakti works. So it's all about intentions. What is the intention behind that person? What is he thinking about? And this is one thing which kept me here in Krishna consciousness since 2008 here. Genuineness. Someone really cares for me. Someone is really there not to judge me. Where am I? The whole material world is all about judging. Everyone around me judges what car am I driving, how big is my house, how am I my kids, what classes they are going to. Everyone is there just to judge you. Wow, why are they like that? Why they don't judge me on what am I doing? Because the platform is not the body, my dear Prabhu and Mataji. The platform is soul. What is that common connection here? Not the M-way, not anything else. The common connection is Krishna. The motivation here is, how can I bring one closer to Krishna? I have nothing to gain here. And I struggle on that aspect. When I go and preach, I just, irrelevant of however careful I am, but it just contagious for me to tell this is the real crux in this material world. That there is nothing genuine than actually practicing platform which is at the platform of soul, because nobody is there to judge me on the bodily platform. How do I look, which country I'm coming in from, nobody is there to judge me on that. This is the beauty. And that's where the intention, that's where I came from. Very difficult to judge what's going on from that side. Did I answer your question in a long way? Okay, sorry. Don't shy away to ask questions. This guy gives a big answer. Sorry. So we are on 4.18. Karmani akarmaya pasyad. Akarmani cha karmaya. Sabuddhiman manushesu. Sayukta Krishna karmakrit. Translation, please.
One who sees inaction in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the mental condition, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
One who sees an action, an action, an action, and an action. Very
I
close.
see that all the time. The first one, right?
Huh.
Some people just pretend to be doing all that, they're doing nothing at all. You see that, right? That's, we always see.
Correct. But the question here is that one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction. Can you give me an example?
Oh, yeah. Who sees inaction.
An action and inaction.
People those who are humble, they do a lot of things, but they don't claim.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, I'll give you example. Now you figure it out. Okay, and you decode this. Arjuna and Vishwamitra. You know both the personalities, right? Can you quote me who is where? In the first section or second section? Is he doing inaction and action, or is he doing action and inaction? You're with me so far? Suprija Mataji, you're not with me today.
No, I'm trying to understand
I think Arjuna
what's
was.
Vishwamitra and Arjuna.
I gave two examples. It's like you have A and B, now you find out which match it goes to. So that's what the question is. Arjuna, is he in action or action? Same way, Vishwamitra, is he in the category of inaction and action or action and inaction?
Maybe Arjuna is in a category of inaction, though he's acting, but it is Krishna.
Very nice. Very nice.
Action in action depends depending on the different types of leelas of Vishwamitra. One of the leela was giving weapons and guidance to Lord Ram.
Okay, so
that
you're,
time he
you're
was serving
talking.
the leela of the Lord only.
Yeah,
Which
sorry,
is-
sorry, I didn't make it clear. So I'm saying Vishwamitra Muni before he became the sage Vishwamitra Muni.
Yes. Oh, I don't.
No problem, but you're close. I'll decode the formula. One who sees inaction and action. What does inaction mean here? Inaction here means this: I am not the doer. I'm doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So though action is being performed, Arjuna is doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. He has no other thing to win from that perspective. Telling I'm following. So he's doing action, but it is inaction because he Krishna, which means it's a karma. Inaction does not mean non-doing activity. To clarify, inaction is a very interesting word. An action in means Vishwamitra, he actually went to perform tapasya before he became the sage. So that is he is one of the why the yogis go to the forest and Himalayas. You know the reason? Because they feel this is all distraction. This is all distraction. I don't want to handle people. I don't want to take care. Not that they want impersonal thing, but they just want to isolate themselves from that side. They feel if I perform any action, karma is a problem. I will not perform any karma. We covered that in third chapter. But what is he doing is, though he is sitting in his meditation, when Menaka comes and he hears that sound of ankle bell, he is distracted. So he is doing inaction. He's trying to perform and actually inaction, but he is actually in action. He ended up marrying her. Finally realized, oh, I got distracted here. And again, Indra sent another Apsara. Similar game. So coming back to this is very important. So what you see here is, Mamita Mother, you're also with me, right? We have Shrikant Prabhu as well and Vineet Prabhu. Thank you for joining. Okay, beautiful. Feel free to say so that I know we are all with together. So what you see, karma, work with attachment according to Shastra, we cover slide, work with attachment against scripture is vikarma. And what is akarma? All acts done to please Lord Krishna. No desire for sense gratification. Act as the eternal servant of Krishna, which is what in Arjuna is doing. What are the results you see on the right hand side for karma? If you do good activities, the result is good reaction following varnashram dharma according to quality and work, which means you go to the heavenly planet or you live a good life in your next birth, right? I'll put it that way. And what is the work with attachment against scriptural injunction? Results into, and what is the transcendental happiness not available even to impersonalists? I don't want to get into that, but not available. So we saw this karma. Now the second aspect which you see further down, which is an intelligent man, one who is in transcendental position, understand inaction and action. Now let's on the right hand side, which is akarma, we said. Acting reaction to work, acting in the platform of acting in constitutional position. You're with me so far? Activity is same. Very Arjuna is fighting, Duryodhana is fighting too. How is that on the platform of soul? You're with me so far? Activity is same, but how it is on the platform of soul, because he is doing it. So now question comes in is, okay, it's great. He's lucky. Krishna is there to guide him, but for me, who's going to guide? Is that a valid question? Every moment, there are three things which are the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Spiritual master. One say, okay, I don't have a spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada is all of our spiritual master. That is first thing. Sadhu. He's also Sadhu. We have so many people who are actually giving the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. They are also considered Sadhu. Not that someone has to wear orange dress to become Sadhu. Sadhu is all consciousness and Shastra is scripture. So we are reading Bhagavad. So there is always a moment to moment guidance available in these three forms. Right? So this is what is mentioned here. One, the renunciation of work, coming back to the second part, I give an example of Vishwamitra Muni. One with impure heart, not performing actions, are resulting in misery. You're with me so far? He did thousands of years of tapasya. Where? In Himalayas, that too in cold winter. in Himalayas, underwater, freezing cold. For what? Controlling his senses. It's just 1 second, whole thing is gone. And again, 1,000 years. Very beautiful book actually by Shubha Vilas Prabhu, which talks about how Vishwamitra Muni became the Rajarishi. Whole first book, the hero is Vishwamitra Muni. Can you guess what? Guess Vishwamitra Muni is the hero for the first book which is written. He has a series of books on Ramayana. How he became Rajarishi. Very powerful story. How much he had to go through. Again, he did 1,000-year tapasya. Another personality came. First time he got angry, he cursed her. Second time, he did not get angry, but he still got distracted. Again, third time. Can you imagine 1,000 control the senses? So that's the point which is mentioned. Just to clarify, in our there was one villager. He was just telling, one of Radhisham Prabhu was mentioning about it. So he says, so, Are, you know what? I actually give every day 1,000 plates of prasad to everyone, 1,000 plates of food to everyone. So he said, great, charity, right? This is great. So how do you do that? Like, what do you do? Nothing. We just kill 1,000 goats and we feed all the people here. Charity, right? Are, this is Vikarma. What are you doing? You are thinking you're doing charity. You are actually killing animals on the name of food for that one. Charity, right? People like charity. Are, mode kya hai? Kar kya raha hai? Like I was just, any store you go, any company you go, they ask you, do you want to give the rest of the pennies as a donation and all that stuff? What they do at the end of the day, how much amount they donated, they show it like that. You know about that? Any society is taken from the customer. We pay, they tag their name saying that we did the charity. This is a reality. I'm telling you, you find out from any company, where do they do? Even, at least I know, even when I was working for rocket companies, they would do that. You want to do charity? Oh, this much, how much we contributed. Where did you get this money from? We only paid for that. But coming back to, this is the charity which is in the mode of ignorance. Another guy, he said, I always serve the poor people. So how do you serve the people? In this village, there were so many people, they were poor. What I did is, I opened my liquor factory there. And I employed all of them there. Great, I gave them employment. Wonderful, externally charity. What are you doing? You're engaging them who may have a little better culture, and you're engaging them in those activities. So one has to understand how it has to be applied from that perspective. Like what you see here, there are two examples here. Vishwamitra Muni, he is doing inaction, but when he sees Menka, he gets into action, and that's sinful. He performs and then realizes. And here you see son of Virat king. Actually, when Pandavas were in mode, they actually went to Virat Raj. You all know about that pastime. So they were living in Virat, and they hid their own identity. And Arjuna actually became a eunuch. And then, huh? Thank you. I did not know the name. Bringing that up, and you know about how he got the curse as well, right?
Yes.
How did he?
Because she
Correct.
cursed-
Why she cursed him?
Because I think she wanted to associate with him or
Yeah.
something like that. Because he said that you are my probably great grandmother or something.
Very nice. Thank you. I will add for everyone. Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, Arjuna went to Indra's palace, Indra's place in Swargaloka. So Arjuna is Indra's son. Actually, he's blessed by Indra from that side. So he went there. When Urvashi saw his beauty, she was like, wow. No, Arjuna was looking at her. So Indraji saw, and then he told Urvashi, let's see what he needs. So she went to him, and she offered him, I want to enjoy with you. And when she offered him, what did Arjuna said? Actually, his great grandfather was a Pururava in Arjuna's energy. So his wife was Urvashi. In heavenly planet, actually, there are people who live for millions of years from that perspective. She has been living from that. And like I told you, Nobody gets old in heavenly planets. So you still remain the young. It's a nice thing to think about. But at the end of the day, I have to lose the position. So he said, "You're like my grandmother," like you said. She became so angry. And then she cursed him that you will become a eunuch. And he came as a eunuch when the Virat Raj, like he was there. So what had happened is Duryodhana got to know that this guy is hiding here because they were supposed to be in incognito. If they are caught up during incognito, they have to again go it for 12 or 13 years, whatever is the number. So they got to know. So everyone came to attack Virat Raj. So they got to know, but Pandavas are in hidden identity. They cannot fight there at that time. So Arjuna became, in the form of a woman, became a chariot driver of son of Virat Raj. So he drove, and when he saw the army, when he saw the Phoenix on the other side, he got scared. And he told the chariot driver, who happens to be Arjuna himself, "You take a U-turn. I don't want to fight." And this is where Arjuna tells him, "Hey, what are you doing? For a Kshatriya to run away from the battlefield is like worse than death. We fight, you become glorious." And he said, "No, no, no, go. How do you know about it?" And then he comes to the original form in Arjuna, and that's the first time he defeats Karna. And to take that revenge, a long story. Mahabharata is beautiful. So he defeats Karna, and Karna is outraged. How can I be defeated by Arjuna? And then Duryodhan laughs. "Oh, I caught you up. Now you have to again." And at the time, Bhishma they says, "See, the sun has set. Their 13 years or 12 years has finished now. So they have come in front of you. So their incognito is over." And that's the time when they leave Duryodhan because they fought him and defeated him and just left him just like that. So that's the point which is mentioned here. So son of the Virat king, he wanted to courageously go battle with Bhishma, Duryodhan and other people. And Arjuna was driving the chariot. He said, like, "Take a U-turn." Arjuna said, "Shame on you. How can you run away from the battle? He's doing activity, taking U-turn, but that activity is sinful." Nice example. You are clear on that part? Makes sense from that perspective. Same way what you see in the next slide, Janak Maharaj and Pandav. And then you also see the example about Ambarish Maharaj, who was actually the great. They are performing the roles of the king, and they are acting that for the pleasure of Krishna. Everything they do is for the pleasure of Krishna. What a great personality Kunti Maharani is there. My God, her prayers are so heart touching. She is the only personality in any scripture you pull it in. Not only, but the women personality specifically who says, "Keep me misery, give me misery, because I can remember you, Krishna, all the time. Let me be in that position forever." Nobody can dare to ever say Krishna like that. Or keep me difficult. When difficult thing happen, it's just so difficult to actually get out of it. But she says, "So that I can remember you all the time." So next is the 19th section, but I want to end with this one thing. What we covered in this section specifically, we will talk about actions of practicing versus perfected devotee. Now we will talk about same akarma, especially akarma, but we will talk at the platform of practicing devotee, which we are, and then the perfected devotee who attain that position. Because some of these examples I gave was a perfected example, right? So what we learned is, one may say, why should I actually learn from that perspective, right? So living in this world is based on our action that decides our soul. That's why this knowledge is very important for us to understand now what is my consciousness behind every activity I'm doing. How can I nurture that consciousness? And that is the purpose this is all about. We want to refine our consciousness. We want to refine our activity, especially thinking about why am I doing that activity. The more and more we get there, we understand that why. Because of our contaminated consciousness. Like for an example, not a healthy person goes to hospital. Who goes to the hospital? Of course, if someone wants to see patient is a different story. But who goes to the hospital? Getting admission. One who is the world is like a hospital. We have challenges in our consciousness. What are these challenges? Out of six anarthas, the three prominent one is anger, greed, and lust. Why there are fights happening? Why there are so many countries fighting each other? What? Why? Greed. Need more. I want more. I want more. Why is he here? Why did you bring it here? That is the thing. And anger. Yeah, so many people. And I was just telling last time. One time, one police officer in New York was asked, interviewed. He said, I would area when there is a fight between two lovers. Very interesting. They are not saying I am afraid of going to the place where there are, big gundas and all that stuff. Why? Because I can't predict what these people will do. Anger can just take anyone here. And the third one, which I say is lust. Ravana is best example, but so many issues there. We may think this happens only in India, but actually happens in America also. If you hear the documentary of I don't want to quote the name of actresses, and they have a really brutal past. How they actually went through this torture, it actually elaborately talks about that one. And that's why we realize this world is not a perfect place for a gentleman or gentlewoman to stay. Us, the better world is awaiting. And again, I'm not trying to talk about but the reality, all agree this. And that is when we know about this karma and akarma, we will not come back again here. Because now I know what action I have to do and what is the consciousness with which I have to follow. Right? With that, I would like to end here. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, it's interesting to know action and inaction.
That is the most complicated one. Okay, we have a kirtan starting at 5 o'clock. So we would have that now from 5 to 6. Not saying you have to stay there, but you are welcome to stay here. But we will have to wind up. So just wanted to see if there are any comments or questions or anything to add before we end, online or here.
No, Prabhu.
No
Okay.
problem.
What is the takeaway for everyone here? Class was good.
Class was very good, Prabhu. It's still a lot of
Is that the
we
takeaway?
don't have question, but I'm pretty sure is the question will always arise. But we always have to think about the inaction and action, action and inaction. It's complicated at sometimes during this world at points.
With the speed we perform action, I'm telling you, with the speed we perform an action, our intelligence cannot cope up with that to figure out whether it's an action or this thing. Very difficult, because every second we are performing karma. Every second, which means before even doing something, one has to know what is happening, and that is all subtle. Because I'm not saying externally what I'm doing. Everything is about the intention behind that. Very difficult. Very difficult. When you start singing, someone says, "Oh, you sang so nicely." Before you actually apply your brain or intelligence, hey, no, all glories has to go to Krishna. Consciousness is, yeah, I sang very well. Oh, thank you. You're with me so far? Arey, I understood, but it took 2 seconds for me. But this guy already concluded in 1 second. I am the great singer. You're with me so far? Very difficult. Not trying to discourage you. Life is not easy. Bhakti is simple, but not easy. I want to be very honest, because it's all about consciousness, not external actions. It is all about consciousness. So one has to refine that consciousness. And I'll give you a secret, a shortcut, or an answer. How do I get away with that? There are two voices we hear. Everyone in this world hears two voices. One is the voice of the heart. Sorry, one is the voice of the mind. Second is the voice of the Paramatma, the super soul. Both voices everyone gets. One has to learn the art of giving the priority to the voice of Paramatma than the mind. Whenever you perform an activity, you will hear, don't do it. That's how super soul works. How does mind work? Do it! You see the difference? You see the difference? The second one is pushy, loud. Without that, you will not be able to live. That's mind.
That's what the other way, when you're in anger, count until 10.
Ha,
So basically,
correct.
you're subduing that.
Think, pause, think, and PTA. That's what they call it. Why when you put a pause, now you have time to get that, and then you take it from there. Very important. Thank you. This is a
Gut
secret.
feeling is the Paramatma.
Huh?
Gut feeling, like sometimes you
Gut
have-
feeling, yes, and no also.
Okay.
Now, for an example, the Paramatma's voice is always taking it towards Krishna. Some people have their sixth sense. Sixth sense does not always mean this is the Paramatma's voice. It could be, but it depends, and that's very difficult to find out that perspective. What am I doing from that side?
I think gut feeling is like when something is gonna happen to you, but what you're talking with the consciousness or Paramatma, the inner voice, what we call is, when you are trying to do something, you know whether
This
that's
is
right
not.
or wrong.
Yeah.
Gut feeling is like, it's situational, it's something is gonna happen to you or something is gonna happen. So that's
Very,
the way-
very difficult to perceive from that
Yeah.
side. Yes, but I know people